Welcome back to my flavor maps. I'm Charlie, and today we're exploring how to build big flavors for one from my small Skoolie kitchen. Today we're mapping out chicken and yellow rice. This isn't a meal, it's a lesson in high desert meal prep and the science of the bloom. For me, space is such a premium, so I'm using my Mylar Compass Pouch for yellow rice. I made it earlier. I do this with 2 bags. I put the rice in a larger bag, but I keep the spices in a smaller internal bag. Why? Well, because timing is everything, and I'll explain that in a minute. So we start by getting 2 tablespoons of olive oil shimmering hot in a small Dutch oven. Now, you can use any pan you like, but I recommend something with a thick bottom and a tight-fitting lid because it's important. Toss in your diced chicken, about a breast's worth. We aren't cooking it through yet, just searing the outside to lock in those juices for its journey ahead. Once that's done, in goes the rice. This is the first critical landmark on our flavor map journey. It's what we call the toast. Stir the rice, the chicken, and the oil for 2 or 3 minutes. We want every grain glistening. This par cooks the surface starch so the rice stays fluffy and independent of each other, never mushy. See? The secret is revealed. That's so important. Took me years to learn this, but boy, did it change the way I cook rice. Before we move on, I want to say this also. The kind of rice really matters. For a very long time, when I cooked rice, it always came out mushy and nasty, something that really pissed me off. And before I learned this toast method, I learned that when I bought that cheap rice is when I normally wound up with gooey mush. So for me, I found that jasmine rice or basmati rice created the type of rice that I was looking for. And then using the toast method brings it to the level I really wanted in the first place. So it was a win-win. Now, we open that small spice bag, which contains all the yummy spices together, the turmeric and the garlic and the onion, and my secret weapon, nutritional yeast. Toss them in for exactly 60 seconds. This is the bloom. The hot oil wakes up those dried spices, intensifies the color and the aroma until the whole Skoolie smells like a spice market. Computer, what happens when you bloom spices in oil?
Blooming spices in oil is like waking up their flavor potential. It releases their aromatic oils, creating a more intense, layered taste that'll elevate your entire dish.
So remember, sautéing spices in oil releases fat-soluble flavor compounds and essential oils that alone cannot be reached with just water. So just adding them to the water just doesn't cut it. It'll make your rice boring. And you probably figured out I don't do boring. Now, we add 2 cups of boiling water straight from the kettle. Starting hot keeps the temperature stable and gives you better texture control. Next, I add yet another insurance policy. I put a sheet of aluminum foil over the top of the pot before I hit it with the lid. It creates a little bit of a vacuum seal that keeps every drop of steam where it belongs. Because everything is hot and boiling now, okay, it's time to turn it down, turn the heat to low, and simmer for 20 minutes. And for me, the hardest part of all, do not lift that lid. Once the timer hits 0, pull it off the heat and let it rest for an additional 10 minutes. Again, do not lift the lid. Do not. That carryover steam is what creates the perfect texture. Once the cook time and the rest time are complete, you can finally lift the lid. Fluff the rice and the chicken with the fork, and for a final touch, hit it with a squeeze of fresh lime. Now, since I cut the salt in this recipe in half, that acid mimics the pop of sodium and brings the turmeric to life. See, it just goes to show, the road might be long and the kitchen might be small, but you can still map out a life you love. I'm Charlie. Thank you for being a part of the journey. Deuces.